Humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev. This is Vrinda Kumari Devi Dasi from Baltimore. I welcome you all for today's session. Today we have Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji with us, who is going to enlighten us on the topic of Together in Sankirtana. Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Gurudev. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your time and association with us today and choosing this topic and choosing to talk on this. So I request you to please take over the call, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. So the reason for this topic is that just now in Hungary, we have a Padayatra, and I attended to this, and also we'll go back for 1 or 2 days. And so I was really lucky to participate in it, to listen to classes about it. So it was very inspiring, and I thought I would just share a few thoughts about it. And actually, I would quote 2 verses today. There will be one starting verse, which will be the first verse of Shikshashtakam. Can I share my? Oh, I can share my screen.
Yes, Mataji, you can.
Thank you so much. Okay. So we will start with this verse, and there will be another one from Srimad Bhagavatam. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Virinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Virinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Virinda. Sorry, I will just. The verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, and chapter 20, verse 12. This is the first verse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtakam. So, Cheto Dharpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Davagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Svadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Srila Prabhupada's translation. Let there be all victory for the chanting of the holy name of Lord Krishna, which can cleanse the mirror of the heart and stop the miseries of the blazing fire of material existence. That chanting is the waxing moon that spreads the white lotus of good fortune for all living entities. It is the life and soul of all education. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna expands the blissful ocean of transcendental life. It gives a cooling effect to everyone and enables one to taste full nectar at every step. Srila Prabhupada's purport is really short. This is the first verse of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtaka. The other 7 verses are found in texts 16, 21, 29, 32, 36, 39, and 47. So for the other verse, we will hear a little bit more from Srila Prabhupada, but let's just offer obeisances. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminite Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swaminiti Namine. So this verse, in this verse, Mahaprabhu speaks beautifully about what kind of benefits we can have when we have Sankirtan. Actually, it's interesting to know that here in the translation, we can only read the chanting of the holy name, but in the word-by-word translation, there is a congregational chanting. So we are speaking about congregational chanting here. And it's really nice to see the benefits, but also nice to think a little bit about what it means, which gives these benefits. So what it means to do congregational chanting, because we know that there is we also have our daily japa when we chant alone, or maybe alone with devotees, but when we don't have to pay attention to anyone else. And there is Sankirtan, which is something different. And what is the difference? Why is it different? What we should pay attention to in that? And when we speak about something, it's always nice to start with why we are doing it, because our motivation will have an effect on how we will do it, or on how long we will do it, with what kind of efforts we will do it. So it's always important to start with our why we are doing it, with our motivation. And many years ago, I found an internet web page where people could share what they like about Kirtan. So they were, probably most of them were non-devotees, so it wasn't a Krishna conscious page. It was many different people. And also Kirtan in their idea, it didn't mean chanting the Maha Mantra, but different kinds of mantras. So it's just important to note, because I remember I was a devotee at that time already, and I was so surprised that there were so many different personal opinions, that I become peaceful. The music is so nice, and I can feel at peace, at ease, and many things like this. And most of them were about me, myself. Why is it good for me? And when we speak about Kirtan, we devotees, for us mostly it means chanting the Hare Krishna mantra together. I mean, the Sankirtan is together. And when we speak about it, we also have different kind of motivations. Obviously, the best motivation is when we chant for the pleasure of Krishna, when we chant for wanting to please him, and also we get love of Godhead, so we will be able to love him more and more, and we will be able to please him more and more. But if we are honest on our way, on our journey towards Krishna, there will be many kind of motivations, even in our chanting. Many times, probably it also happened to you, when I was suffering greatly due to some kind of problem, I just went to the temple, sat in front of our deities, Sri Sri Dayanitai Vijay Gauranga, and just started to sing, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, and just shared all my heart's content with Krishna. And this also happens. Sometimes we have great desires for something. We need job, or sometimes when we fall in love with someone or something like that. So many desires can be there. And we sometimes also approach Krishna with this. And obviously, at some point, we have to start to purify our desires and to have more and more the motivation of wanting to please Krishna. But it's natural that whenever we have something which disturbs us, we turn to Krishna and just connect it with him, because it's always beneficial. And we shouldn't punish ourselves for feeling like this, but endeavor for become more purified in it. Anyway, during our Padayatra, I just had this idea. We have a Kirtan channel, YouTube channel in Hungary, and I thought that maybe it would be nice to do a series of videos with devotees, that they would, when they share their motivation for having Kirtan, what they like about Kirtan. And obviously, after, I approached all these shy Matajis too, and they started to tell me, oh, I don't know what to say, I'm not so elevated and stuff. And I started to think what I would say in this kind of situation. And one of the morning classes were about one interesting point of view. And it was about 1 year ago, Madhavananda Prabhu, His Holiness Gaur Govinda Maharaj's disciple, gave a class during the Padayatra online. And he spoke about that Padayatra is both an inner journey and an outward journey. So, on the surface, that we are going step by step, from town to town, and share the holy name with everyone who's there. But it's also an inner journey, and we also shouldn't forget about that. And I was just thinking how much this is true for everything, that there is a surface which everyone can see, and there is an inner journey, and it's also there in Kirtan. And it's really amazing that when it's about Kirtan, both of these journeys can be really, really amazing. So when we speak about the surface of it, it's obviously, we cannot deny that it's amazing music. So we like to listen to this music, participate in this music. It's such a party, we are together with devotees, and it's really enjoyable. And also there is this inner journey, and this is also very relishable, that we get closer and closer to Krishna. Sometimes there are tests, there are always tests, but the journey in a whole thing, this is a very, very amazing journey. And also, when we speak about motivation, so for example, when we speak about this Padayatra and the Harinams, it's obviously there is this motivation which we also very much relish, that we can share the holy name, we can share Krishna with others. And many people cannot really accept philosophy, literature, or so many things, but most of them like music, and most of them like this party type of feeling. So many people can join, even if they don't come to the temple, but they join for a little bit of chanting, they join for dancing, maybe they also get some kind of cookies, so they can experience something of Krishna consciousness. And this is the first point, one of the many points, why it's important to cooperate, to really pay attention to how we do it together when we are presenting Krishna to others, because we know that Krishna is the all attractive, and it's nice to present him in this way, that he can attract others. So Madhavananda Prabhu also gave a class this year, this time in person, and he spoke about one very interesting thing, that they visited his wife's family, and they gave a present to the Mataji's sister. And it was a sari. and the sari was in a box. And her sister got the present and was amazed. Oh, wow, such a nice box this is. And they were just waiting for her to open the box and see what is inside, what is the present. But she was so amazed by the box that for a few minutes, she didn't even open it. And Madhavananda Prabhu emphasized the importance that we can see how important it is to present the present in a nice package, because it's also important, because if it's in a in a newspaper, you pack it into a newspaper, it's not so attractive, and maybe someone will just throw it away because the outside is not so attractive. But if we can present Krishna in a nice box, they will have this. It will catch their attention that, oh, it's such a nice box. I would like to see what is inside. So, and for that we have to cooperate and really do it nicely together, because as I mentioned, this verse is about Sankirtan, chanting together. And Kirtan can mean that I, by myself, start to glorify Krishna, start to chant his names. But Sankirtan is to do something together. And this is really important, that we should learn the science of doing something together. That it must be important because they have a separate word for it to make the distinction between Kirtan and Sankirtan. And there is this book, I hope you see it. So this is a book from Dhanurdhara Swami, and there are some interviews in it, and one of them is from Aindra Prabhu, and he spoke about the difference between japa and kirtan, Sankirtan. I will share it. Okay, so here. There are two prominent ways that the gopis are absorbed in the services of Radha and Krishna. One is Nikunja Seva, where one serves Radha Krishna alone. The other is Rasalila, dancing and singing and serving Krishna with all the gopis. Similarly, as all the gopis have their individual kunjas for individual personal service, we chant Nama Japa in the mood of Nama Seva to assist in personal intimate service. Nama Japa is thus like facilitating the meeting of Radha and Krishna alone. So Nama Japa is a more secluded personal affair. You may even pull your chadar over your face so that no one can see your emotions. Japa is your own relationship to Radha and Krishna without the consideration that your feelings are shared with others. One is thus free to allow the heart to flow and express one's desperation for the eternal loving service to the holy name in a way that one can't do in public assembly. So this is japa. About Sankirtan, I just cut some parts because that was more an elevated topic, which I don't really feel comfortable to speak about. I don't really understand that, but some parts are nice, which I can also relate to more easier. So Aindra Prabhu said that Sankirtan, on the other hand, can be performed in the spirit of Krishna's Rasalila. By Nama Kirtan, Krishna also sees that you are serious about sacrificing your egocentricity for the purpose of helping others to gain access to the holy name. And this I really would like to emphasize, sacrificing your egocentricity. So this is an important part, that we have to be a bit more in the background when we are doing something together. So let's continue. An attraction thus naturally awakens within Krishna to the soul who is performing that yagya. It induces him to relish deeper with that devotee, even more intimate, loving reciprocation in the form of Nama Japa. In that way, Nama Sankirtan and Nama Japa are always intersupportive. So the two are connected. Also, I remember that I've heard this from one Kirtan workshop from Madhava Prabhu. He spoke about that the quality of Kirtan and quality of Japa is connected. So it cannot happen that that we have a really good quality Kirtan without having a good quality Japa. So this I want to emphasize, because that it's not that I just want to have Sankirtan together with devotees and all the time doing it and neglect my Japa, because that's not really the proper understanding. That Sankirtan Yaga is the Yuga Dharma, so Japa is not important. It's not like that. So he continues later that nowhere, however, it is said that Nama Japa is the Yuga Dharma, the specific spiritual practice for this age. The Yuga Dharma is Nama Sankirtan, loud chanting for the benefit of others. And that's what brings Nama Seva to the highest level. So the two are connected, one helps the other, but the goal is Sankirtan Yagya. And the fourth part is that sometimes I also asked Guru Maharaj about this, that there were some mantras also in the previous ages, but in those ages there were other Yuga Dharmas. And now also we see that there is a Yuga Dharma which is chanting, but there are also other practices like deity worship and others. And here Indra Prabhu speaks about how Sankirtan is connected with the other processes and how benefits those processes. So he says that, how does one achieve the highest benefit of all devotional practices by Nama Sankirtan? When Krishna sees that someone is helping others by giving them the opportunity to hear the holy name, then Krishna from within and from without lifts the curtain of Yoga Maya from that person. He thus allows them to see the actual nature of the deity and to penetrate and realize the deepest imports of the Bhagavata, the path of spontaneous devotion. And by serving Guru and Krishna on the path of Raga, or at least by practicing serving them on that path, one understanding of Bhagavata and one's relish of the deity becomes even further enhanced. Then all one's practices enter the Raga dimension and helps one evolve to the plane of Raganuga Bhav, Vraja Bhav. That is real Sankirtan. That is the Sankirtan of Lord Chaitanya and his associates, the relish of Vraja Bhav in the course of performing Sankirtan Yagya. So I just have this metaphor for this, which helps me all the time understand what's happening here. So for example, imagine that you are cooking, and in these Indian dishes, there are so many ingredients. I remember the first time when I saw that half of the ingredients were just spices. I wasn't used to that before. So there are so many ingredients, and if we just miss one thing out, then it won't be the same. The result won't be the same, even if it's a little bit of salt or a little bit of spice, or you just totally leave out all the potatoes which are needed. So it might be that it seemed to be something big or something small, but even if you miss out something small, then the result won't be the same. And it's just the same in Sankirtan. You know, each and every person who is present is important. And not just that, the Kirtan leader is so important because he's leading and the others are not so important, or okay, maybe also the Mridanga player is also important. No, each and every person is important because everybody puts their attention, their love into Kirtan. And this will be like a bhoga offering to Krishna. And also the other way around, if you put too much of something, that will also change the result. So, for example, if you put too much salt, it's obviously, it won't even be edible, this dish. And this is similar if we put too much ego into Sankirtan while we participate, like, too loud mridanga playing or too loud singing, which is actually shouting, So it also can ruin the result. So it's important to participate in a humble mood, but with attention and with love. And if each and every devotee present puts their affection into chanting and their love and their will to cooperate, then the result will be amazing. So this is it always helps me to understand what should I endeavor for. But it's sometimes it's difficult to cooperate. And now comes our second verse, which is from Srimad Bhagavatam. And I will just read the translation and the purport here. So it happens when the prachetas do their austerities, their meditation, and Lord Vishnu appears in front of them and expresses that he's pleased. So he says, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, 'My dear sons of the King, I'm very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me.'" Srila Prabhupada's purport. Since the sons of King Prachinabarhishat were all united in Krishna consciousness, the Lord was very pleased with them. Each and every one of the sons of King Prachinabarhishat was an individual soul, but they were united in offering transcendental service to the Lord. The unity of the individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity. In the material world, such unity is not possible. Even though people may officially unite, they all have different interests. In the United Nations, for instance, all the nations have their particular national ambitions, and consequently, they cannot be united. This unity between individual souls is so strong within this material world that even in a society of Krishna consciousness, members sometimes appear disunited due to their having different opinions and leaning towards material things. Actually, in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be two opinions. There is only one goal, to serve Krishna to one's best ability. If there is some disagreement over service, such disagreement is to be taken as spiritual. Those who are actually engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be disunited in any circumstance. This makes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very happy and willing to award all kinds of benediction to his devotees, as indicated in this verse. We can see that the Lord is immediately prepared to award all benedictions to the sons of King Prachinabarhishat. So, as we mentioned before, that our endeavor should be that we want to please Krishna with our Sankirtan. And if we can nicely cooperate, that is already something which is pleasing to him. And obviously, if it's with the holy name, it's even more pleasing. But if we have our personal agendas, like, oh, I want this kind of music, I want to play on that kind of instrument, oh, I don't like that kirtan leader, he's such and such devotee, then we are connecting more likely with the material energy. And as we saw here in the purport, if we are on the material level, it's not possible to be united. But if we try to unite on a spiritual level in pleasing Krishna, will be true union. And there is a very nice quote about this from Bhaktividyapurna Maharaj, that Krishna is the center. Everything is reconciled in Krishna because everything comes from Krishna. There isn't anything in the cosmos that doesn't reconcile itself in Krishna. That's because he has Achintya Shakti. So Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. But the material world doesn't have Achintya Shakti, right? It doesn't have Achintya Shakti. So because it doesn't have it, it cannot reconcile these differences in details. And so all these things, all they do is put an emphasis on the dissension, on the differences, and you cannot reconcile them. And so in the name of trying to make a better place and trying to make it more broad and more universal, they are simply creating more dissension. This is not real. This is not of value. This is not service. It's just distraction due to one's own particular attachments. That's all. So the main point here is that when we are connected to Krishna, when we really want to please him, then in that case, there can be true unity. And just imagine that there is a cogwheel, you know, like there are these small particles which are connected, and like there are many wheels in the system. And if they are nicely connected, then the whole machine properly moves and everything functions well. But if you put some dust, some small particles in it, then the wheels won't be able to function so nicely. And if you don't pay attention, then at some point this machine will just fall apart and break. And this is how we should think when we are doing our Sankirtan, that we are part of a so-called machine, a spiritual machine, let's say it like this. And I should do my part properly and cooperate nicely with the other parts, with the other devotees. And just to mention a few examples, that for example, you know, if we are going on a Harinam and the Kirtan leader is too fast, it happened to us a few times that the chanting is too fast. And, you know, there are those Matajis in front who are dancing and they just have to run, a little bit like running. And it doesn't really look nice. So when they can nicely move, there is the nice tempo, then the whole procession is very attractive. But if they cannot move properly because it's too fast, then they cannot do their service nicely. And when, for example, if the kirtan leader wants too many double beats, then the mridanga player at one point will be really tired and won't be able to play on time, and the kirtan won't be so attractive. Or there are those devotees who maybe just chanting with the others, but someone is pulling a cart, you know, full of these books and magazines which are distributed, and water. And sometimes the devotees go there to drink, but if the devotee responsible for this, he doesn't fill up the bottles with water, then the devotees will be dried out and won't be able to sing so nicely. And there are these small details. Some of them are more in the attention, so many devotees will immediately notice, but some might be invisible type of services, but each of them are really important. And if everybody nicely does their service, then everything will nicely function together. And we can see that, so there are differences, but when it's about differences, we can use them to inspire, or we can use them to oh, there was this word in English, sorry. Or it can cause this dissension. So it's our choice how we approach when, obviously, when we are doing Sankirtan together, it's not that there is one person and all of his clones, that everybody is just the same and they like the same things and they do everything the same way. Obviously, there will be differences because there are differences in our nature, in our taste, in our capabilities. So there will be differences. The important thing is how we handle these differences. So, like I mentioned, that it's so inspiring that to listen to others, what they like in Kirtan, because I can also get some extra motivation from that. But in other cases, other devotees think that asking what is a good kirtan, and many devotees have different opinions about that. For example, there are devotees who think that, oh, these original Indian raga kirtans are the best. And others say that, oh, I cannot follow these difficult melodies, I cannot chant, and oh, they are not good. The most simple kirtans are the best. And so it can divide us. And when there is division, we won't be able to cooperate. So we have to find the bridge to connect everyone, even if there are these differences, and use these how to inspire each other instead of making divisions amongst us. And just one short story about this, which kind of kirtan is good. I remember that many years ago, I was really thinking about how can I recognize a good kirtan. And I spoke to some of the kirtaniyas, and one kirtaniya said that, oh, when the dynamics is slowly going up and up and up, and that's the good kirtan, and the other said something different. And so somehow none of the answers satisfied me. And Srila Shivaram Swami Maharaj has a podcast, and devotees can send questions to him, and daily he shares something and picks some kind of topic. And I asked him what is a good kirtan like? What are the symptoms of a good kirtan? And he said something very, very different from all the other opinions which others have. He said that in a good kirtan we remember Krishna. And that's a very, very spiritual answer. Mostly our problem is that we cannot see when others are remembering Krishna. Maybe we can see that if I'm remembering Krishna. So I understood, just going back to the beginning, when I mentioned that there is the inward journey and the outward journey, that all the answers try to explain what is a good kirtan based on the outward stuff of the kirtan, but this answer focused on what's happening inside. So actually, all of them try to approach the same thing, but in a different way. But this happens actually that we see things in a different way. And we have to harmonize these differences in order to be able to satisfy Krishna with our kirtan. And many times it happens that someone makes a mistake, but if someone else makes a mistake, it doesn't mean that I can also make a mistake, because I just react in the wrong way. So if someone makes a mistake, then he or she will experience the results. And actually, that's not of my business. If I'm not authority, that's a different thing. But if I also react to this mistake, then I will, and in a wrong way, and I will also commit a mistake, then it will be my business. So my point is just, when we are together in Sankirtan, we are just going together step by step. We are chanting together. We are tolerating all the differences together. We are doing endeavors together. And when someone just falls, then help him up. When we are falling, then others will help us up. And this way we can go to Krishna together. And I just remember I heard it in one class that our process is not about me going back to Godhead. Our process is about we are going back to Godhead together. And this is Sankirtan, actually. So these were my thoughts on this topic. And please share yours if you would like to.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. Wow, what a wonderful presentation, Mataji. I couldn't join in the Zoom in the beginning. I was just following in YouTube. And I thought I'll join in the Zoom now, and I joined in the middle. But it's a very nice presentation and a lot of points. We usually don't think about Kirtan. Yeah, sometimes we say Kirtan is very nice. Sometimes we say, okay, Kirtan is okay. But we don't know that much technicalities, how to express. But you made such a wonderful presentation to call the points, like how it will be nice, it will not be nice. And also I like the example where you related this Kirtan with all the ingredients of Indian cooking. Very nice example, Mataji. I didn't even imagine that part any time, but you came up with a very nice example. Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much. You have put together a lot of points about Sankirtan. Yes, Mataji. As you said, it's not only about me, like I'm going to back to Godhead, but we are all have to go to back to Godhead. So we should be together in Sankirtana. Thank you so much. Very nice class. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are kitchen religion, and I all the time have this prasadam meditation. So that's why it came at one point.
That's true. Because we are, since childhood, we are used to this type of cooking, right? So we don't think it separately. But as you are, when you came into Krishna conscious, maybe this thing is new for you, like Indian cooking. Yeah. So that's why you can.
Yeah, I remember the first time when I just checked out one recipe that, okay, I will try this Indian type of food, and I was shocked. Oh my God, how will I get all these spices? And even now, I'm not really expert in using these spices, and that's why I'm really conscious about even something small. If you leave out of the recipe, it will be a totally different thing. So, yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, nice. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for a wonderful class. You came up with so many beautiful points. You also mentioned the point of gift, presenting a present. That point also I really liked. Thank you for choosing that verse about sons of Prachina Parishat, and it how beautifully explains how Krishna is pleased when we are united. It's a very important topic, actually. So thank you so much for talking on this topic today with so many wonderful points. I see Sri Devi Mataji has raised her hand. Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Radha Vinodini. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev. Thank you for such a scholarly presentation on so many different aspects. As Srimati said, we haven't even thought about all these things. We just go for kirtan and that's it, you know. There are so many aspects to making a very nice kirtan presentation for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of the devotees. So thank you for bringing out all those points. I was particularly struck by those quotes that you shared about Nama Japa and Nama Kirtan, and how one supports the other, how one is very individual and one is, you know, Yuga Dharma, all coming together and chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan. Those quotes were very, very nice. I thought that was very scholarly presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sridevi Mataji. Namrata Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Please accept
Hare
my
Krishna.
humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to our dear Gurudev.
Right.
And all glories to our assembled most wonderful God family, our dear devotees. So your presentation was really wonderful. I really like the difference you mentioned about between the japa and Sankirtan. That really clarified much in a clarification aspect. Then the examples of prachetas you took, that was a wonderful example of group bhakti. So getting doing bhakti in a group with unity. So yes, we connect with Krishna, and then because then Krishna himself becomes the source of that unity, so that itself becomes stronger. So I like the examples of pachetas as well. And you mentioned about what is a good kirtan. So I was just remembering what Guru Maharaj, I think it was Guru Maharaj or in some other class, but I think he mentioned that when there is a good Sankirtan, when there is a real Sankirtan, there is a presence. The Kirtaniyas feel the presence of Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So
That's nice.
so that was what I could recall from Maharaj's class. That even still, each and every person who deeply, getting absorbed in the Sankirtan, when they do in that way, they can have the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that was one thing. And
thank you so much for sharing this. It was really nice. Thank you.
And one thing I was just I couldn't exactly understand. There was a note you mentioned about sacrificing your egocentricity. How does that happen when it comes to kirtan?
I think I would like to share a personal experience regarding that. Actually, it was in my notes, but somehow I forgot. But I think it might clarify this topic. So, for example, it was in my case, it was a long-term difficulty that I know how to play on different instruments, and I had this identification of being a so-called kirtaniya. And in the beginning of my Krishna consciousness, Krishna very much supported this, that I had many opportunities to sing, to lead kirtan and to play on mridanga. But somehow, after a few years, it changed. And if you have an identification and you cannot act according to that identification, there is frustration. And that happened in my case. And for years, it was a problem that I really wanted to to lead kirtan or play mridanga, but somehow it wasn't really possible, or at least not as much as I would would have liked it. And when we speak about Padayatra, so 2 years ago, I attended to Padayatra and I really wanted to do something, but there were so many devotees, elevated devotees and stuff, and I really didn't had the chance, and I really felt this frustration, and I wasn't happy actually on the Padayatra. Last year it was different. Last year I had some frustration before that, so I just decided, okay, whatever happens, I won't do anything of this. I won't play mridanga and I won't lead kirtan. And it happened that they asked me, and I said, please, I don't want to. On one occasion I did it, but it was some kind of, this a little bit Ishvara mood that, okay, if I decide that I don't want to, then it will be different. And what really helped me actually, that some time ago, Vishnupriya and Nityakishori are my mentors in this God family system. And I spoke to them about this, that, oh, it's so difficult, that it's still a problem for me. And I had so many realizations connected to this topic, but still it caused me difficulties. And they told me that, okay, just try it, that for half year, so like 6 months, you do it, and let's see whatever happens after that. Just try it, that participate in kirtans in a way that you consciously pay attention that you don't have any expectations. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want this, it's also if someone else just like this kind of music, that kind of music, this type of kirtan leader, that type of kirtan leader. So no expectations. And, because it's just 6 months, it's not so much. So my mind can also somehow tolerate it. and not all the time manage to get rid of all the expectations, but I really do the endeavor. So this year's Padayatra came, and it's also that because Guru Maharaj told me that I can serve Haridas Thakur deity, who is in my home, in a way that I take him to wherever devotees chant the holy names. So I used to take him to Padayatra. So I have a small box. Shiva Haridas Thakur is inside the box, and the box is on my chest, and we are going in the procession. And this year, I really strongly decided that, okay, my identification this year will be that I'm the servant of Haridas Thakur and nothing else. Whatever happens, it's happening. I don't have any problem with that. It's just this is my only identification. I'm no Kirtani and no one else. And somehow this year, this Padayatra became amazing. I really had this plan for last week to go for the Harinams, but since then I just go. It's still going on, and I just attended to it yesterday and want to do tomorrow and the day after that, because it became so enjoyable. Because there are no expectations, there are no frustration because of the unfulfilled expectations, but I can just be part of the procession. And my point in this is that ego is when I want to do something, I want to lead, I want to play mridanga, I like this kind of music, I like that kind of music. And when I'm willing to give up all of that, just for the pleasure of Krishna, that whatever is happening is Krishna's will, and I will accept it, and I will assist it. Then, at that point, miracles happen really in the kirtan. So these are my thoughts connected to this. I don't know if this helped to clarify this or not.
Yes, it was, it clarified, and yes, the examples you gave were really wonderful. I think it gives much other clarifications also. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Namrata Mataji. We have many comments in the chat also, Mataji. Shilpa Mataji shares very wonderful class. Never thought about Kirtan that way. Asha Mataji is actually asking a question. She said, beautiful class of Sankirtan. Can we also do Kirtan at home to please Krishna as a pastime with all the ingredients you mentioned? Bhakti, love, Niti Dhyasana, etc.
Sorry, I'm just trying to this is the first comment.
Yes.
Sankirtan, can we do also Kirtan at home to please Krishna as a pastime with all the... Yeah, of course, Sankirtan is not limited to any time, any place, and we can do whenever we can, and Krishna will be happy. So but we just have him in our mind and in our heart, and chant for his pleasure, then it's perfect. And in our home, it's also possible. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Anuradha Mataji also has shared her comment. She's saying, wonderful class, such a nice presentation of Sankirtan, how to unite nicely for Krishna's pleasure. Okay, I think I don't know if she's asking a question or she's continuing with her first comment.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Always verse to Shiva Prabhupada. It's not a question, but I want to also say that a wonderful class, a real wonderful class, and it reminds me on gopis how they always unite to please Krishna and to give aside their everything, and they come to serve Krishna. So nicely presented that Krishna is really in the center, and then you are satisfied. Like, thank you so much. Such a nice point. And ingredients for cooking, yeah, that's also nice points for in a relationship to Sankirtan, to Kirtan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's so nice to meditate on the gopis in this regard, because they do everything so perfectly for the pleasure of Krishna. And actually, I was just thinking that if I go to any place when there are so many Matajis, usually there are great disagreements, and still the gopis could manage it nicely. And this should be our great example that it's possible, and that in Krishna everything can be nicely done together if this is the goal. Yeah.
Thank you, Anuradha Mataji. There is a comment from Sukhava Mataji also. Hare Krishna, very nice class, Mataji. Thank you all so much for these wonderful comments. Are there any more comments, reflections, or questions from devotee side?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. Radha Vinodini Mataji, is that the notes you had your own, which you were reading from, or was it from somewhere you were reading?
Which one? Because I mean,
the
which I shared.
Yeah, the one you were sharing.
I think about the japa, which you shared, Mataji, about gopis and japa.
I will just share this. There is this this link. This is a link, and this contains all the interview. This is an interview between Indra Prabhu. Actually, he was speaking. So these are his words. And Danurdara Swami had this, maybe I didn't show this or you didn't see it. So this is the book, and this contains this interview also and many others. And on this link, you can see all of the interview which was done with Aindra Prabhu. All of it is about Kirtan, but also other topics, not just Japa and Sankirtan, but also other things. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, because there's so many nice points you have discussed today, and it is too difficult for me to remember because I'm at work at the moment as well. So I was in and out listening to you. But yeah, I'm glad that I listened whatever I could, and I wanted to refer more. So thank you for sharing the link.
Thank you so much for joining even from work. Yeah, so I see that there is another comment from Asha Mataji, and this is the book. This is Japa Meditations, that is the title, and Contemplations on Entering the Holy Name. And this is from, Danurdara Swami.
Thank you, Mataji. Any more questions or reflections? Okay. So if there are no more reflections or questions from devotee's side, with Mataji's permission, we can end today's call. Is that okay,
Yes,
Mataji?
thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much once again from the bottom of my heart for today's class, for your time and your valuable association, Mataji. Thank you so much, all the devotees, for joining and all your reflections and questions. We can end our call here. I would like to pay my obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha
Namo Namo.
Anant Koti Vaishnava Sangh ki jai.
Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki
Guru
jai.
Maharaj.
Jai.
Hare Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much.
Krishna, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.